Hello again. In this video, I'm going to show you how to select vouchers and create payments to your vendors. This is when you're ready to pay your vendors from the vouchers that you have entered into the system previously. This process is fairly straightforward. Just select vouchers to be paid from the AP module menu. Here, the system presents a list of open vouchers or invoices from your vendors that are still open, as you can see here. Normally, you can go down this list and select the voucher that you want to pay either by vendor name or by the due date. Like that. Okay. So for this example, we're going to go ahead and pay this voucher here, 1156. From our supplier ABC Supplies, and you can simply just double click on the highlighted voucher that you want to pay. In doing so, the system would default the balance as the payment amount, but in this case there's a prompt or warning that says, basically this voucher is not due yet. You still want to go ahead and pay this? And that is true. We just put this sample voucher in, and it has a term payment of net 30 with 10 days 1% discount. So I'm going to go ahead and select yes. Okay, and sure enough, as you can see here, the payment amount is not for the full $1,000, but actually for $990, because we are paying early, the system is factoring the 1% discount automatically based on the vendor's term. Certainly you can select multiple vouchers from the same vendor and combine them into a single payment. So in this case, for example, we can do here, and as you can see here, you can also you have the option to apply credit memos too against any open invoice or open voucher. So in this case, we have a voucher that has a balance of $123.45, and for this same vendor, we have two other credit memos. You can see here the credit memos with a negative $3 balance and a negative $9 balance. So I'm going to go ahead and apply. Now you notice when I double click on this voucher, the system automatically applies the full balance amount, which is $123.45. Now if I were to go ahead and select this credit memo, you can see the check amount for this vendor is now down to $120.45 because of this credit memo. And I can repeat this for the next credit memo, and it drops down further to $111.45. Okay, so that's how you select multiple vouchers for the same vendor. Now here you see there's other options that you can use to narrow down your selection. For example, let's say I just need to see only open vouchers for this vendor. I can click on this option, checkbox here, and the list is now filtered or narrowed down to only that vendor. So you can focus on one single vendor and go through the process of selecting all the vouchers for that vendor. And when you're done, uncheck it and you're back to that open voucher list again. Or you can just select one particular payment like this one here and click show payments, and these are the payments that have been not processed but selected up to this point. Again, if I uncheck this, then the system will show you the regular open item list. Certainly you also have the option to pay partial payment instead of the full balance. And to do that, let's say for this example, I am going to select the entire balance here, which is $500. But instead of paying $500, I'm going to just pay $300 this time, a partial payment. So to do that, what you do is you want to highlight the voucher or the payment and select edit. Okay, and this is what we have. We have the edit screen, payment edit screen. Here you have the option of changing the payment date as well as the payment amount. So I'm going to change this to, let's say, $300 instead of $5. Okay, and you can enter discount amount here if it's needed. Now, typically, excuse me, typically the the system defaults the payment type to C for computer check. Now, in the case of, let's say, a manual check, you can select that type here, manual check, and then simply manually put in the check manual check number in this box. Or if you have a direct withdrawal or electronic transfer, and typically they would also have a transaction number associated with the payment, you can then put in the transaction number here. Okay, so let's see, I'm going to go back and switch this to a let's see, manual check. I'm sorry, computer check. I'm going to leave the document number 0 because I don't have one assigned yet. Okay. Go back again. Okay, let me see, I'm going to exit out. And I'm going to unselect this payment, reselect it again, click on edit, go back here and change the payment amount to $300. Click on save. Okay, as you can see here, there's a column that shows you the check amount for each vendor. So in the case, the first one we have $990, and the second one for this vendor, the check amount is $111.45. That's why it's repeating here. And you have another one for 300. Let me see. Let me recalculate this. For $300, recalculate here. And further to the right, there's also a total batch right here. And this is essentially your cash requirement for this particular batch. And the same total is repeated down here as well. So you can see this is the cash requirement for this particular batch, and this is the check amount for each vendor. Okay, so in this case we have a total of 3 checks, and the entire batch requires $1,401.45 in terms of cash requirement. Now, when you're ready to print out the checks, the payments, all you have to do is select Process Payments right here. Okay, now the system goes through the process, and as you can see, all the vouchers have been processed and paid in the system at least. And now you have the option to print the check, the computer checks. So if you select answer yes here, the system then takes you into the print check screen. Now in the background you can see that the system shows you all the selected checks, payments. Now I'm going to go ahead and just preview this on the screen. Preview. Okay, so these essentially are the checks have been generated by the computer. You can see here, this is the check amount. Alright. This is also the one here for $990. Okay. Cancel this. And now, once you print out the checks, the system will then assign the check number, and the status, the print status would change from selected to printed. So I'm going to go ahead and print these checks. Okay. And let's just go ahead and select. And I'm going to go with 1,000. 23. Okay. Print. Okay, you can see that the system now assigns the check number 10124, 23, 25, and 26, and the status now changed from selected to printed. So when you're done with the checks, certainly you have the option to reprint as needed, And to reselect, simply just double click on the check that you want to reprint and answer yes here, and you can see the status is now switches back to selected. Okay, and that's pretty much it for selecting the vouchers to be paid in the AP module. You just need to repeat the same steps to prepare another batch as needed. This concludes the training video on how to pay AP vouchers. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.